a FirerySide chat. Here with me is my guest Gambit. If you haven't watched any of the other episodes, they're all on my YouTube channel, so go check them out. Welcome, Gambit.
Woo! What's going on?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Excitement.
I'm actually tired, but I had to bring the energy for the intro. So
Did you bring a beer?
I have what is close to an equivalent of a Red Bull.
Oh,
so no, unfortunately.
oh well. I don't think I've had a guest that hasn't had a beer.
A beer
Besides,
would have done me probably way more good than what I have now. So
it's okay. I got you covered.
perfect, dude. If you can drink for both of us, that'd be great.
I don't know if I'll be drinking that many for both of us, but sometimes I hit two, but usually one's good enough for the episode.
Okay.
So kind of on the table is mostly about playoffs. Been released the announcements, talking about your season because obviously 6 weeks is done. Talk about your team. We actually had a member of your team on earlier in the season,
Right.
Darth.
Good old Darth Heisen bagel or Berg. It's
Uh,
there's like a slight story behind that. His last name's Beigel, but
mm,
it's spelt bagel, and so we just all call him Bagel occasionally. Uh so I don't know. He's been like Darth Heisenberg for literally 3 or 4 years now, but I don't know why his Twitch name is Darth Heisen Bagel. I
mm.
don't know if
He should just be
he's adapting.
Heisenbagel. He should just stick
Yeah,
with it all. I want to briefly mention, and a lot of people, not too many people really do watch this live because you know, last actual episode, a lot of people did. But for those that are, the admins are in their channel together, all three of them, probably discussing what they'll do for the intermediate tiebreakers. There's 7 teams with 5 wins, and I believe it's 4 spots they need to fill. Yeah.
1, 2, 3. Yes, 4 spots.
Yes.
A double count just to be sure.
No, I
So at
want to.
first I thought,
Oh,
oh, go
sorry.
ahead.
I was going to say I want a mini BO1 tournament
Yeah,
where you
I know
face
what you
multiple
want.
teams, BO1s. It sucks at 7 teams, but it can work. I don't think you.
What I imagine they'll do is they'll split it into 2 groups and make them play up to 3 games or whatever, like something like that. They'll be like, okay, this is like one group round robin. You play both these teams best of one, and we'll just see what happens.
But there's seven
You
teams,
know,
so one team
but I'm
group
saying
has
you put them in
three.
2 groups, like a group of 3 and a group of 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't work out perfect, but there's not like a good way to do it without. Because what's your other option? I mean, your option is a best of one round robin, right? With 7 teams.
No. Best of one tournament.
Okay, so you're just
BO1
saying,
teams are going to move on. A little double M. One team will have kind of like a little advantage there,
mm-hmm.
and it can work. It can work, I think.
That could maybe work. I'm trying to think what's the fairest way because they need to make room for 4 teams, right? So I guess a double elim would actually work out because you could get the top 4 teams. But that to me that just feels like it will take a long time.
No, it won't because the teams that lose
Well, if you
move
do double
down.
elim though,
Double M won't take long in a day if they're all BO1s.
no, it won't take long in a day. But for what they're expecting to play a best of 2 and or best of 3 series, they're playing more than 3 matches.
No,
Most
they
teams will.
no because you have 7 teams. You pick one team for a bye. 3 teams play three. The 6 teams play their BO1. Winners move on. Then you have 4 teams, and 2 of those teams, that the 2 teams win their BO1, and then they move on. Then while
Oh,
that's going on, you have the losers.
all you have to do is get a losers bracket final and a winners bracket final. That's 4 teams. So maybe you're right.
Yeah,
Maybe it wouldn't be that bad.
but kind of rough with 7 teams. I didn't want 7 teams. Like
Yeah.
this is the worst case scenario. And Tennessee Tech and ROT decide
Wasn't
to
there
go
a
1-1.
slightly worse way?
Hmm?
Oh, that was what made it worse.
Well, no, but they could have 2-0'd one of the teams, but they went 1-1 because because both teams couldn't make, I think, and so they scheduled for Tuesday. But then they kind of got rushed and said all schedules have to be in, so they just
Yeah.
agreed to a 1-1.
Okay.
And they're like, we'll just go tiebreakers.
Interesting.
Group stage is rough too because then you have one team with 3, the other team with 4. Do you take the team that goes 2-0 and 1-1 and the group the 3 group, and then you take the top 2 and the group of 4? Because
Yeah, it's weird. I will say this problem could have been avoided if they had done true Swiss and done best of threes. Because then you'd have people would have had actual series over people instead of these 1-1 series. I think that complicates things. Because in like a true Swiss format, or I think it's Swiss Buchholz format or something. I can't remember what it's called. But what'll end up happening is you'll have like 5 different set of tiebreakers, and I think the first tiebreaker is obviously record or wins, and then the second tiebreaker is like not even head to head. It's wins versus people with the same amount of wins as you. And so because you always have like a win or a loss and you wouldn't have ties, you'd have like people within +1 or -1 instead of people that'd be like, like all these 5-win teams have basically 1-1'd each other too, which is part of the issue.
yeah, they're all really close. I will mention that RD2L does not BO2s as well. I kind of like the BO2s because it's not a serious BO3 kind of type deal.
It's one
Like,
of those
yes,
things
we're
like
in this issue, but I kind of like the BO2s during the group stage.
groups don't matter as much in BO2s. And I don't want to say that in like a negative way, like they don't matter at all, but it's like it's more for experimental stuff if the series, like aside from intermediate obviously where we had more than 16 teams and now we're going to have tiebreakers, like they're not as serious because it's not like a definite you can tie, right? Like you can tie.
And Dota, they do BO2s in their group stage and at TI every single year.
I know.
I'm just saying.
They also do round robin BO2, not Swiss.
Well, they do. They do a full on round robin, and then the bottom teams. But there's been other tournaments though. I don't like GSL either. I personally do like the BO2s. I like that teams go 1-1. I like that it holds off till later in the playoffs where you get to be more serious with your BO3s. Now,
Hmm.
maybe we do hit BO3s next season. There could be a vote on it. They say they're gonna take a bunch of votes on the season, but
Right.
I know a lot of people like their BO2s during the regular season.
I'm okay with the BO2s. There needs to be some kind of,
Separator.
yeah, like
Yes.
there needs to be some sort of tiebreaker for when you won a team though. Like for again when you have situations like this, we have several 5-win teams and no one's 2-0'd anyone in that 5-win category. Or even like 6 and 7 wins. I mean, that's you have the same issue like with tiebreakers elsewhere. It's just not as important because no one's getting eliminated elsewhere.
If you're tied like 6-7, like meh, you just get kind of put in your bracket. You're all 6-win team.
That's what I'm saying. Like you're
Like
still
you're
in like
okay,
roughly in the same ballpark.
but you made it. 6 wins made it.
Right.
We're
Six
at
six wins
fives.
guaranteed. 5 wins is like okay, like but that's what I'm saying. There's no distinguishing tiebreaker to be like, okay, well this team makes it because they 2-0'd this team. Like none of these teams 2-0'd each other. None of these teams stood out, I guess, in that sense. Like maybe you could say like if you got a forfeit win, then you're not eligible. But then like what happens to teams that just got random forfeit wins because someone didn't show up? Like that's not super fair.
Well, and that is why tiebreakers exist,
Right. I
right?
just I feel like there should be some way to do this without having to like add an extra week. That's why I'm suggesting the best of threes.
Well, like
But
I said, but we didn't have the BO3, so you're
we
not
didn't
allowed.
have them.
You're
No.
not allowed to suggest it because we didn't have the BO3s. You have to suggest what's going on right now. And like I said, I imagine the admins they'll make a poll and say, "Hey, what do you guys think?" And that's when
If they
I'd
vote
rather
for a
keep
round robin, I'll be
BO2s.
surprised.
I'd rather keep BO2s, but I'd like, if more people want BO3s, they can. But we didn't have BO3s going on. We have BO2s like RD2L, who does Swiss as well. Though they have more teams in their league since they just take everybody and
I
throw
was
them
about to
in one.
say they don't take a lot of teams as well. Like they have a lot of teams and they don't take as many, right? Oh,
Well,
like
they
I want to say they cut like half their teams each bracket almost.
well
I
no,
could
they
be wrong
take
about
they
that.
take all their teams and throw them
In
in
playoffs?
one.
No. I mean,
No,
sorry,
not
take them into
playoffs.
playoffs. Sorry. I mean
Not
teams
in
that go into playoffs.
playoffs. No, they don't take 16, but they do.
That's what I'm saying. They only
But
take
they
like
have way
half.
more. They have more than 22, so
But yeah,
they don't
that's no,
really
that
have
was
this
that was also
case.
what I was saying.
They have more than 22, which makes it way easier for them to get their.
Do they have more?
Th- t-
They have more group weeks too.
I think they're around 6 actually too.
Okay,
4 or 6 or 8 or something. But no, they have way more teams, and this
I've
is
only
something
played
I
in like 2
mentioned.
seasons, so
This is what I said against Swiss, and when Swiss was coming, and this is why I felt like Swiss was kind of dumb in any league besides intermediate to a point. I said, guys, Swiss, you're supposed to face a different team, and it's good when you have a lot of teams so you can face different ones that are even skill. If you look at Divine, I know you looked at a lot of Divine. We have 11 teams. Is that right? Three, four,
yeah.
five, six, seven. We have 11 teams. Really, you could have just had a group stage regardless. You didn't have to have this Swiss.
So the thing with Swiss, and the reason why Swiss can and should work for most scenarios, is it's a system based on like values of 2, right? So if you have more than 16 teams, you have to have 2 to the 5th or 5 weeks of group stages in order for the Swiss format to work. Otherwise, like anything past that, and you're gonna get like really unbalanced matches, because you're gonna get cases where it's like, oh well, this team's already played the 5 teams below them or something crazy. Or maybe not 5, but like they played 2 of the top 3 teams or whatever. Now they have to go play the 4th team, which is like kind of unfair to that 4th team who's going to be crawling back.
You're basically saying my point right now
Yeah,
of
yeah, but
why I was
that's what I'm
against
saying. It's
Swiss
got to
already.
play, but there's too many weeks I think in 82L for Swiss to be effective, as well as like you have to do best of 3s. If you don't do best of 3s, you don't have tiebreakers for Swiss. That's why Swiss works.
But we're not discussing BO3s or BO2s. We're talking about the right
Yeah,
now.
what are we talking about now? I
We're
forgot.
talking about right now, Gambit. We're
What
talking
are we
about
talking
right
about?
now. We can talk about BO3s or BO2s. I'll concede to you BO3s are better. I agree with you for the Swiss format. BO3s are better. Everybody can put me on record for that. However, BO3s did not happen. We have BO2s. We have 7
All right,
teams with 5 wins.
so
And
we
the
got
other
BO2.
point that
We
we
have 7
mentioned
teams with
quickly
5 wins.
is the fact that in our other leagues we don't have enough teams to facilitate actual Swiss. Do you agree with me on that?
Um, it,
Or okay,
It's
wait, wait,
it
wait, wait,
it's
wait.
yeah, it's a loaded question, but yes, to answer it in a simple way, yes.
Okay, here facilitate Swiss. Here's simpler. We'd have to lower the amount of games
Yes, correct.
to a
For it to
point
be
where
useful.
there isn't there isn't enough games. People, I think, like the weeks. I think people like 6 weeks in 82L season. I think it's really good because the point of 82L, and this is from my understanding, is to play games,
Yeah, yeah.
right? And
I
that's kind
mean,
of why we don't have
what,
that
a
double M tournament.
$30 prize pool? There's no prize pool. The prize pool is getting your money back to come back next season. That's your prize pool.
Yeah, yeah. You pay $5 or $10 if you're late. If you don't sign up early,
Right.
you pay 10. If you're early,
You
you
win,
pay
you get
five
next season
dollars.
on the house.
Yeah, you get paid. I think Archon League only gives $15.
Yeah.
Contenders like 25, intermediates 35, divines like 45 or 50, and heroic is 75. Like you're not making money
You're not
at
the
this
reason it's not
tournament.
the reason to play at 82 is not because you're like, oh man, I can't wait to rake in that $25. What do you think it'll be? Check? But it's to play people in the community and have fun with like a group of friends that you like playing with.
Yes, and I think that's something some people forget. And I'll touch base. I don't know your opinion. First, I will say a few things. I really do like double M playoffs. I think like when Cave Major and Boston Major didn't have double M, I thought it was the stupidest thing ever. I just want to mention that I love double M. But in 82L, it does not make enough sense when we only play once a week. And that means you see the top 3 teams, top 4 teams play in the last 3 weeks where nobody else is playing. And
You'd have
then
a
if
lot
you
of
go back
repeat
4
matches in
weeks,
the last couple games.
and if you go back to 4 weeks, you had the top 6 playing. Like
Not to mention you don't have a lot of teams playing near the end of the playoff run too. If you do
you
double them.
well, well, just think about intermediate. How many teams sure we're having some teams out of the playoffs right away in this, and I think it's good. I think 16 we should always have it as any below 16 you're out. So if somehow
Mhm.
intermediate hit 32 teams, I'd still say only 16 move on.
Yeah, I would
Um,
agree.
because it's a nice 4 weeks. Well, double M makes it 7 weeks,
Right, exactly.
and you know what?
And
During that three
you
weeks,
also have stuff that like like a stagnating between winners bracket stuff and losers bracket stuff. Because how long do you give winners bracket breaks in between their matches? Because they would play significantly less games than the double elim losers bracket would.
Yes, while losers bracket's going on, winners bracket is getting a week off in
Which
between.
most teams don't like. Like, let's just make that clear. Most teams hate bye weeks in playoffs.
Yeah, some teams like them. Listen, I don't mind having a bye week on the first round if you don't have 16 teams, because it's like, why I don't even want to face this.
Mhm.
Let me just enjoy my week off. That's fine. But 16 teams, I'd rather face the worst team than.
Yeah, I'd rather still be playing Dota with my stack and
Yes.
getting some sort of practice in like a competitive format than be like, okay, guys, we have this week off, like we can pub or I could set up a scrim or whatever. But I don't know,
Yeah.
having that like official match always just kind of hypes everyone up a little bit and keeps you going for the playoffs.
That actually screwed me over one season. You ready for this?
Yeah, I'm ready
uh,
to.
my team went to TI. We took a week off for TI, and like two of myself and another member actually went to TI, so that week
Mhm.
was off. We come back. We had a bye week, and our team was high enough in wins. We had a bye week, and we came back and we lost 2-0. And we
Yep.
were a top team, so we had 3 weeks off. So we didn't actually technically play together for 4 weeks, and it
Mhm.
like ruined everything because we didn't like keep up.
That's what I'm saying, dude.
But I
Bye
agree.
weeks, like whereas they're nice because
Mhm.
they reward the top teams. It's not the best reward a lot of times. I
I
would say if
Yeah.
you've looked at the Divine League bracket, it looks like it'll work really well because there's only like 3 teams playing first week anyway. And so most teams aren't going to be like there's more teams taking a bye week than there are teams not almost.
Well, that's what happens when you only have 11 teams.
Right, right.
You
But I'm
need,
just
yeah,
saying that'll
I
work,
agree.
right? Because everyone else is on a bye week too. So everyone else will be just out of practice.
Yeah, it's the worst
Aside
teams
from the
that
bottom
have.
like 5 teams or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
Bottom
Well, yeah, bottom six. They'll be, and they're kind of the worst teams. You know, it's,
In my mind, in this divine bracket, and I don't want to say too much, but there's 2 teams that like could make a weird run that I'd be like, well, I thought they could do it, but I just hadn't seen it like enough. But I don't think they will still.
yeah. One thing I do wish is I could still see the playoff bracket before the Divine League playoffs. Like, I wish Divine League was still up on the site, so I could be like, oh, this is what the standings were. Coming into it, it'd be nice, kind of, because
Yeah,
I don't have that mental image like you do. You've been covering Divine every week, by the way. Shout out to Gambit for doing that. Clap, clap, clap. That's pretty good.
there's that if you do want it.
Hmm?
I sent you the group stage page
Wait, how did
for
you do that?
82. Dude, I am a magician. If you go on the Divine League playoffs and you click on any match with any team in here, so we'll just select like Potato Navy's game on the 9th of July, for instance, right?
Okay, wait a second.
Okay.
Potato Navy. Okay, I'm on Potato Navy, and do I go
Okay. And
Oh, dude, I can click. Oh my, I
you
never
can
done
click on
this.
every
I,
past season of
I
82L and look at groups for this.
listen. I've never claimed I'm a smart person.
Listen, dude, these are the things the admins don't want you to know.
Oh
All
my
right,
god.
everyone watching this back, go on to 82L right now. No, I'm just kidding.
You know what?
No.
This is more of a not so much of a vodcast on this. I didn't have that way up.
Fireman's like, I gotta clip that and make sure I remember this for later.
Dude, I think I knew that. I think I was just being stupid, to be honest. Not lying to you. I actually think I just had like the biggest brain fart because I know
But
for a
hey,
fact I've done
there it
this.
is, just in case you need to see it.
I like it. No, Potato Navy obviously did really well, and every team was kind of close. Like 9-7-6. There
It
is
was
a
a
divide.
very tight
Yeah,
Divine League. I think this is the best league, the best season for Divine League ever. As far as I can remember from the past 5 seasons, they've been trying to do it. Is that
I
roughly
I
correct?
I think Divine League has had like only 3 seasons.
Right, but
This might
they've
be the
tried it for the
third.
past 5, right?
Yeah,
I don't remember
yeah,
when the first one was, but I remember it wasn't consistent because of lack of player or team base.
yeah. I think the first one only had like 5 teams or something. It's
Right.
tough. It's tough, right? Because you're trying to like make sure everything is fair. Because there was a lot of divines that necessarily don't want to face against. the heroic teams,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
and it's the intermediate players don't want to face against the divine players in the same bracket.
Right.
So that's where that's made. And it's kind of like that's where the divide was too, intermediate and contender, and then that's how Archon was made, which I've been trying to get going for a while. I'm like, we have these Crusaders in our league. They cannot play against legends. Like you
They
have
need
a
a
guy
home.
that's 1600 MMR and you have a guy 3500 MMR facing off against each other. You can't
Yeah.
do that. But same thing for 3,500 MMR guy shouldn't really be facing the 5,000 MMR guy.
Right. Exactly. Like everyone has their brackets where you have to kind of group people in, and it's not like offensive to be in a bad to be in a different group than someone else. It's just like, listen, like statistically, you will have a better chance if you stay within your bracket.
Yes.
Right. And when the bracket's too big, like the contender bracket used to be when it was, basically 0 to 3,500, it's like, where do the players go that are 2K, sub 2K, 20, even 2,500? I would argue a lot of players
Yes.
would
Well,
feel
yeah,
much more
2,500 is
comfortable,
Archon.
which I think is Archon
Yeah, and they
still.
can play in Archon League or they can play with
Right.
their legend
Exactly.
friends. And there's um and I'm gonna mention this, and I don't mention this often. None of you are going pro, maybe a couple heroic people. And I only know like one person from heroic that's watched my content and told me he's watched it.
I'll,
Besides
I'll actually
that,
say one thing
what?
once you finish. No, go ahead,
Oh,
finish.
none of you are going professional. We all suck at Dota, so it's okay. Dota doesn't. We enjoy Dota. Just because you're bad at Dota or more bad at Dota, it is okay. I suck at Dota. I'm Ancient 2 right now. I wish I was kind of Legend, so I could get contender, but I'm not. You know, I was at the start of the season. I'm no longer, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay. Dota's not our career. We're here for fun. Okay, Gambit, you can talk.
All right. First of all, I will agree with you saying no one should play Dota for the mindset of you might go pro. I'm just gonna say that right now. I'm not gonna say that you won't go pro because step one, logical, who is like a 2K player, and what is it? He played for some team that qualified through open qualifiers.
Okay, okay.
Do you remember? Do you remember?
I shouldn't have said definitive. Most likely, none
I'm
of
just
you are
saying,
going pro.
most likely no one will. But like, I'm also gonna say like, don't even consider it until you hit Immortal. If you're sitting at Archon Legend and you're like, I'm gonna go pro, that's a bad mindset because you'll never hit Immortal with that mindset. Like your mindset should be, I want to get better every day, and every day you should be like, I want to get 100 and more better than I was yesterday, and then
Here,
slowly you'll get to Immortal, and then Immortal you can be like, I think I might try taking this seriously, but you shouldn't go in to be like, I want to be a professional at this game. I think
okay.
it's a terrible mindset to have.
I have a question for you.
Go for it.
What do we consider pro? Do we consider pro as in obviously North America is kind of not as strong a region, but would we consider them if they're pro once they hit tier one division next season, like next DPC, like top 8 teams, or are they considered pro even if they're in the bottom 8 teams?
I,
Like if Logical
well, so
makes
you're
a
talking
team,
DPC.
I'm talking DPC. I'm talking DPC next season. 14 teams will make money
Eh,
in the online
yeah,
league.
yeah.
Where's the line for pro? Is it as soon as you make money, like an actual amount of money, not from 82L or any of
So
these small tournaments, or is it if you're a top 8 team in NA, you'd be considered pro?
I would consider top 8 team in your region to be pro. My general guideline is if you can make it through open quals into a major tournament, that's when you can consider yourself a pro. Because at that point, you should be able to win some tier 2 tournaments, which although it's not TI money, it's still money. And it's definitely more than 82L. Like there's some $3,000, $5,000 tournaments
There
that,
is.
some rank 100, 200 to 500 immortal players will go enter in and win, right?
I
And
guess.
I'd still consider that professional.
I guess.
It's not top tier, it's not like
Mhm.
sustainable.
I think I'm going to slightly change my definition of pro. I think you can actually be under the top 8 teams of the DPC next season because of how the prize pool is for like 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th. I think if you can make a living and your only job is playing Dota and you can make a living off of it without supplementing it with streaming,
Yeah.
I think you're pro. I think that's my definition. So
Well, if you do it with streaming, then you're just a professional streamer to
yeah,
boot, right? Like,
you're a BSJ like when he was playing and
oh,
still
right,
streaming.
right.
Yeah, and nothing wrong with that. BSJ probably can make a top 8 team or one of the bottom 8s, and
BSJ's
arguably he's
made more
pro.
money streaming than I've made the past 4 years. So
Uh,
I haven't made a lot of money, Fireman.
okay, definitely in his
I'm
last
in I'm
couple
in college.
years. Yeah, well, yeah, he's definitely made more money than you. I'd say there was up to a point where he was just kind of making okay money.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I'd say something turned around after he left like Team Freedom. He joined Complexity, and
I I think
he
when he
had
became a talent too, I think that helped.
yes, yeah, that was kind of after like VGJ Storm happened, and
Mhm.
he was on that team for a month or two, and he started getting invites to tournaments, and that's kind of when he started it. He did start at the Dota Summit 8 in 2017, which was actually kind of
That
after
was a fun year.
Complexity. So he,
Promo
I
code BSJ. That was around
yeah,
that time that started.
yeah. Well, I was actually before even promo code BSJ, but yeah, I'd say once he became a talent and his stream was taking off a lot, I'd say BSJ's obviously made it in Dota. Like he's making the big bucks, honestly. Compared to us
Yeah.
plebs.
But I mean, you think about how far he had to come to do that too. Like he used to be some hooligan that just streamed his Dota games every day, right?
Yes, he was in college. He was streaming his games,
Mhm.
and he thought he
That
was
was it.
top shit. Remember, he won that NA
Yep.
league, and
Yep.
the dude EG could have taken BSJ over Samael. You know,
It's very no, it's very possible. You're right.
at that point. But I will mention quickly that's when the farming meta happened, and like BSJ was very good at that. He was
Yeah. I
very
think
good at that one farming meta where it was literally hit creeps for 35 minutes,
that was
and
also they had fear and they needed a mid laner, right? And so they were probably
yeah.
looking for someone with like high mechanical play. And I think that's what they saw every time they looked at the replays. They're like, this guy just wins his lane. Because that was also at the time when winning your lane was like super, super key.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Because that's when Sumail and no one were like the top two mid players, and there was not even like a hint of doubt between those two being the top two. They were just like, yeah, those two guys win their lane the most often.
Yeah, dude, I'm just reading this. It's so insane. I'm reading his little biography right now. After not a lack of practice with Leviathan, he joined VGJ
Oh
Storm with
yeah,
Monkeys
Leviathan.
Forever in early 2018. And I'm like, dude, they almost qualified for a major. They almost beat out all the NA teams. And they lost to
Mhm.
BO5. And BSJ talked
Yeah.
about that one game. I don't watch as much BSJ now, but I was watching a lot of BSJ then, and I still watch a little. And he talked about it multiple times. And he's like, I screwed up. I was not good when I was on that team. He's like, I am way better now. I realized how much I fucked up on that team and what I did wrong and what I know now. He's like, I gave up the whole entire map. I literally lost my team the game that would have made us go to a major.
Right.
But I don't know. We don't have to keep talking about BSJ. We're here about 82 playoffs. But you're right. Someone could go pro. Logical. I'm a big fan of
I
Logical, and I hope
I will
he
say as
he
well,
could.
I had another teammate who played on an iteration of We Make Bad Decisions who was he was sub 3K when I asked him to play with us. And I was like, dude, I was like, this Baze kid is a god. He was 14 at the time too. Like kid was nuts. I was like, he's good. And then he hit like Legend 1 when the badge era came in. And we played through WBD. The only time we lost was the series he couldn't make it because he could only play on 1 day a week and it was like Saturday. Like he worked every other day as hardworking Canadian 14-year-old. Still works like every day. Like I've asked him, like, hey, if you would ever consider a Dota team, he's like, I'm only free 1 day. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. But he's hit he's peaked at a mortal 1500, I believe. And he's sitting at I think 4700 right now. But that's another player that was like he just hit like a stride when he was, and he only played FOS 4 and 5 to get there. Like so for all you support players that are like, I can't win my games on my own, listen, I just talk to this guy. Like I don't know where you can find him, but someone's done it, and I guarantee you it's possible. It just may take a lot more work than you think it would.
I
But
read on.
that guy's insane too.
Okay. some outliers. Maybe I should rephrase this. If you're 21 years old right now, or 20, you're not going pro if you're 3K right now. If you're a
Or I mean, you and I,
14-year-old, you
our careers
can.
are over.
My career is 100. Dude, my career didn't even start. My my career didn't start, dude. I should be declining. I don't know why I'm still 4K.
I'm just waiting for my fear cramps to come in.
Yeah, dude. Dude, I lost my thought. But 14-year-old prodigies, that can happen. I'm not saying it can't. I shouldn't have said I shouldn't. There's a tiny little sliver chance. Sleepy is, I won't say how old he is. He's a younger guy. He's gonna hit immortal. Maybe he's the guy that could go pro in 82L. But he also refuses to play Dota on his main account and continuously smurf. So, should not try to call him out. But I believe I am a Sleepy fan. I'd love Sleepy could make one of those teams in the bottom 8 in NA and make some cash if he's not the bottom 2 teams, because for some reason those teams don't make any money, which I consider is wrong, but not up to me.
Mhm.
I'm just happy Valve's giving money to crappier teams so we can get those. Back to intermediate, god damn it. What do? We have 7 teams, 5 wins. We only have 3 teams out. Dude, you know what's really insane? Is all teams had a chance to still make it, besides Movement Speed Nerds. I feel really bad for them. I'm happy they did win one game, though.
Yeah.
But
like every team had a chance to 2-0, right? Or
yeah.
to basically secure their spot.
Yeah, if TTP 2-0 to AB Normal, they would have had 5 wins, and AB Normal would have had 4 wins. So I guess even if they 2-0'd, there would still be 7 teams.
Instead of Abnormal.
Yeah.
If they would have gotten 0-2'd, it would have been easier, right? Because then Abnormal would be a 6.
If Thumbs 1-1 with Big Earn, there would be 2 teams with 4-4. Instead,
Did Big Earn 2-0?
Yeah, they did. They 2-0'd.
I'm not super surprised. I had to play Thumb, and it was like at the time I think we had 4 wins, I guess, and they had 3.
Mm-hmm.
But it was like an unfortunate way that we were matched because I realized that they had a forfeit win. So like realistically, Thumb has won 1 game this season.
So they're
like gotten a forfeit win over Rice Babies. Yeah, like I feel bad because it's like, did those 2 teams play each other? No. Should they have? Absolutely. Like, why didn't they? Why? What happened to where they couldn't play each other?
You're kind of the best of both worlds because you are an intermediate as well.
Yeah, a little bit.
Kind of. Kind of.
I'm on 2 teams. Yeah.
You're on Trail of Tears, dude. Hey, it must feel good. Your team is above that thresh mark.
We made the cut.
Hey, that makes you a top 12 team.
We're in the top 50% of playoff teams by all technicalities.
You're at 7 wins.
We're at 7 wins.
To be honest though, we have 2 teams at 9, 4 at 8. 2 at 7. Like that's not bad.
Hollywood.
I know you did. I was shocked. I won't lie. Hollywood I think is a pretty good team. They, So Digital Habitat, I'm shocked where they're at too. I thought I cheer on Jukester and co. Dude, they came out of nowhere. Like their team is started rough, but now they're back. And then
I've got my own thoughts about their team. I think I know their strengths and weaknesses now. I think we could probably 2-0 them in a best of 3. Like, okay, a lot of these teams, I don't want to talk too much about it because I think we should focus on what to do about these intermediate teams.
I didn't want to get into their delves and their weaknesses and their strengths.
Yeah, but I don't want to get into that. I'm just saying, like, there's a lot of these teams that we've lost to that I think we figured out now, just after playing them once, because there's a lot of teams we hadn't played before.
Which I want to see multiple BO1s. I want to see. I want to see a bracket of 7 in the upper bracket, and only one team has that bye. I know that sucks.
It's gonna be luck of the draw, I think, too. But I don't know. Like,
one team has to get lucky with that bye, I think, and that's just how you have to do it. You have an odd number there, and then you do 1 BO1, and then the bye team and the 3 winners face off. Those 2 teams move on. And then while those matches are going on, you have the losers. Wait, there's 3 losers.
Okay, no, it
Yeah,
doesn't matter though. It's fine
yeah.
because what will end up happening if we do double limb is we'll have basically every team except for one will play 2 games. Sorry, every upper bracket team will play, like if you keep winning, you'll play 2 games, and so 4 teams will play. Or sorry,
It's tough because three
I'm
teams
trying
drop
to
down.
right,
Three
right.
teams drop down, so then you have 2 losers face off, and then you have another team with the bye. That seems a little unfair too. For some reason, I thought 4 teams dropped down. Oh, what do we do?
Hold on. Well, it's not unfair because that team will still have to beat a team that had also played a team, and like it's not like you get eliminated after losing once, right? But at the end of the day, you'll still have 4 teams make it, right?
What if you
Unless I'm
do?
not seeing something here.
Well, no. When you have 3 dropped, 2 teams are going to have a slight advantage. One of the teams that loses, and then the team that didn't have to play in the first round. What if you make it a huge group stage, 7 teams? They all play
Here's the thing
against.
though,
Hey.
double works though because you still have to play teams that have been winning in order to get a top 4 spot. You still have to be in the upper half of teams.
Yeah, well, yeah, you have to beat a team that won.
Right.
You're not wrong, and that's
Even
kind of
if you
why I was
even if you
thinking of
lose,
that.
even with
But
the team with the bye, right? Like you could say they have an easier route, but they still have to win a game
against a
to
team
move
that
over,
already won.
right? Or like they'd have to win against the team that already won, or even if they drop down, they have to win against another team that had already won in the lower bracket. So they're still playing against a team that has won at least one game.
Mm-hmm. That's you know what? I feel better about it because you can have the one team that doesn't play in that second round
I
face the
I
team
hope
that
that's what they
won.
end up doing. Let me 1, 2.
Uh,
So every like upper bracket teams will have to play 2 games. If you lose round 1, you'd play 1, 2, at most 3 games.
yes, a couple of the teams.
That's not bad. Okay.
You know, it's not like I said the bye teams technically, but
If you lose once, you play 3, but if you don't lose, you only play 2. I think this works.
but one of the teams that loses once doesn't have to play in the losers. It just waits for one of the winners again.
Right. But
And,
again,
and
they
in
still have to play.
theory,
They
you
still have to
have to
win.
face a team that won.
Yeah, in theory, you still have to be a top 50% of the 7 teams. Like you still have to be in the top
Yeah.
4.
Yeah, I think I think that it's not. Listen, a team.
And the way that it would work too is like you wouldn't replay a team, right? Like you'd be on the opposite side of the bracket
Yes,
if you lost.
yes.
And so like you'd have to lose to 2 teams to be eliminated. That already tells me you can't be a top 4 team if you're losing to 2 teams. I mean, you could be, I guess, technically, but like it's
Yeah. No, that's exactly
the
it.
way that the numbers would work out. It shouldn't be.
Yeah,
Like,
each person has a chance to either lose 2 games or win 2, except for the one team. The one team has to win 3 times, one team has to only win once. But if that team that won once, doesn't win once, then they still have a second chance. They lose a game and then they get slotted. It's not horrible. It's if that one bye team loses
I think
their
it works really
game,
well.
or if they win against a team
The
that
one bye
won,
team still has to win
win
a
a
game
game.
against a team.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's against a team that's already like won a
One.
game. So it's in the
The,
upper
the
half roughly.
the argument is the team that's won is better than the team that lost. So if the team that didn't play faces the winning team, if they beat that team, the argument is they beat the team that the winning team beat. Obviously, it's not perfect, but that's all I got for 7 teams.
It's pretty close. It's pretty close to about as fair as you can make it. And you're not asking them to play much more than a best of 3, which most of them were expecting for in playoffs anyway, right?
Yeah, well, that's what when I thought there was 4 teams in the bottom bracket for some whatever reason. Now it's only 3, but we already discussed that. Yeah, all I was thinking is max will be 3 games. I don't think that's horrible.
Yeah, I think that's fine. I think that works out
That's
really well
enough in
too.
one night. 3 games, 10-minute break between each, and get in.
Well, and again, we're talking, default time is 9 EST Thursday, right? So like all these teams would have normally been saying, okay, we're playing a best of 3, we're in playoffs. You can still have that playoffs mentality, but now it's like with less prep work. It's like, okay, we're playing a best of 3. Here's the tournament bracket. right? Like, and then you'd be like, you're starting at this time, you're waiting until matches are done, but you're ready to play a best of 3 anyway, right? Like, and if you win twice, it's actually it's 100% a best of 3 because if you lose once, then you go down and you play 3 games instead of 2. But if you win once, you can close it out in 2.
You know, I kind of created the bracket really fast here.
I did it as well in Paint. It's really bad.
I didn't do mine in Paint because I'm not a pleb. No, I
What'd
mean
you do
what?
it in?
I did it on a
In
tournament
Challenge?
playoff bracket. Yep.
I could do it in Challenge real quick.
Yeah, but or you can look at my stream.
Yeah, I'm doing that as well.
So as you can see, basically what I said to you, this team still has to move on. Obviously, it stops here. Let me be clear: we're taking the 4 best teams, so we're not continuing this. We're not continuing this bracket at all. We're doing 2 games. Well, actually 3 games. These 2 teams, and then the winner of this faces this team, and the
No,
winners of
okay,
these
okay.
2
Cut
games
cut
win
out
here.
cut out the you only need the third from the middle section. You only need it there because that gives you top 4.
No, that's what I said. No.
Okay, yeah, okay,
Yeah,
okay,
I
okay,
can't
okay.
cut this out. I don't know how to cut this out. I don't know how to edit. So I
I don't
said
know either.
ignore this. I said ignore
Oh,
this.
sorry.
Yeah. So set, dude. Oh,
I just want to
can't.
make sure everyone's clear. Like it, you don't have to do those. Yeah, all that. You
Yeah,
don't have to do all that.
top 14, top 14. Everybody. You know what? You know what you do, dude. I don't actually know what's on my paint. I don't want to dox myself. Oh no. Okay, we're good. This is what we're doing. Real life here. Bringing up the paint. Oh no. Can't. Nah. Oh well. You know what? Crap. Oh yeah, dude. We're getting this. Okay, we're here. We're here. Check this out. Boom. So 5 got the lucky chance to get the bye, so they don't play in the first round. 3 of these teams move on. 5 faces 4. Let's say
Oh, sick.
5 and 4. Then 4 wins because I don't want 5 to win. So 4 moves on, and they have made it to the tournament. Winner of this game moves on. They have succeeded. 2 losers face here. This guy goes here, and this guy goes here. Or here. I don't fucking care. As long as it makes sense. And then the winner of this faces this loser. And then they play. And winner moves on. Winner moves on. So a couple teams will play 3 games. A couple teams will play 2.
The way it will work, unless you're the team with the bye, is you'll play 3 games if you lose 1, and you'll play 2 games if you don't lose. It's literally a best of 3, right? Like,
Yeah, it's
if you
a
lose a
mini
game,
tournament.
you still have to win 2.
Yeah. The only
but yeah,
crappy
like
part is this team.
you have to win 2 of 3 to get in. That's about as fair as you can make it, I think.
This is the crappiest though, right here.
Juke,
this
let
team
me
just
in
moves
here.
on. This is the crappiest
That
team.
That team, yeah.
They face a winner.
Okay.
If they face one team, they move on. Do they
Yeah,
have to
okay.
win 2 games? Whoa.
That team, no, that team doesn't. That team doesn't. But that's
Yeah.
you could make them play the other team just to see. But if they'd win, it's like, okay, yeah, they totally deserve it.
One
But
are I was going to say a suggestion too is we go back to your round robin idea. Teams that have won 2 games move on. So this 5 team,
you have a similar
wins
problem
1.
where there's an uneven
I
amount of
know.
groups. But yeah,
Yeah, I was thinking, yeah, that's the issue. One team's gonna have to sit out, and then other teams will have the opportunity to win 2 games beforehand. Okay. Well, anyways, I like this. This is my idea. I'm sticking to it.
The one team will get a slight advantage, but again, that team still has to win. Like, one team basically gets an automatic 1 win, but they still have to win and can like the top 50% of teams to get it. That's how the bracket will work.
Yeah.
But again, I hope they do that. We obviously don't know. We don't control anything. At least not that I know of.
We control nothing. We control so little. Gambit, the only thing
until Max moves me in because he's watching this FirerySide chat, we control nothing. Do we want to go over
contender? We're gonna go over
Yeah.
all of them. We're gonna hit Heroic first.
Okay,
Listen,
yeah.
look at this. I'm gonna copy this. I'm just gonna send it to Juke, and I'm not gonna say anything. I'm just gonna send it to him, and
Go for it.
he'll
I think it's a good
either
idea, dude.
mute me or he'll be like, "What the hell is this?" I'm like, the idea that'll save everything and make people not hate you, except for people who will hate Team 5. Whoever is in that first
Whoever is Team
5
5,
spot,
people are going to be upset. There's
if
no way around it,
I
dude.
can't fix it. I actually so um I guess I can keep this up too in display capture. Let's go to heroic quickly. I need to. We don't do heroic content, but I think that's very important. Unsung champions and unsung heroes do not get to face each other off in the grand finals. What
What was that?
bullshit is this?
Unsung champions and unsung heroes don't? What?
No, they can't. They're both on the same side of the bracket.
Oh, what?
I
This is
know.
rigged.
I know. I don't know who
This
came
is
up with this.
rigged.
I do not know who did this. It is a disgrace.
Oh, man.
Dude, because last season they did a BO5. They did a BO5. Bonk's team, Unsung Champions, 3-0'd Unsung Heroes who won last season.
And then changed their name, right?
And then they changed their name to they changed their name to Unsung Champions as a joke.
Honest, that might be the greatest thing I've ever witnessed in 82L. Is a team changing their name to BM another team after they beat them.
Yeah, they 3-0'd them too. Dude, it's actually insane. But you remember last
They
season?
lost to them in groups though, right?
Yeah, they did. Heroic 3-0'd, Intermediate 3-0'd, Contender 3-0. Only Archon went to 5 games, and Archon lasted, I think, 6.5 hours.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so every other series was short and 3 games. But yeah, Unsung Champions wasn't Unsung Champions. Unsung Heroes, they won the season before, and they changed their name to this. So I'm upset that this is only a BO3. I want a BO5. This is all I know about Heroic here is the lore between these two teams. I guess we have Boomer Hands EC.
I know that
with
some
Canuck.
teams, I think, left.
There was more. There was a few more.
I was like, yeah, wasn't there more teams?
I think
because some of them wanted Swiss, and they were like, no, there's no reason for Swiss. There's not enough teams.
And we got Pupper Pals with K-Stigs. Remember when he won a few years in a row?
The K-Stigs team?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's without logical. Oh, they have Ultra Gunner instead.
And
how did this team finish? 6 wins.
Let me just go to check this out, everybody. I'm showing you the technique. Boom! Yeah, no, Quarantine Gamers obviously run amok. Unsung Champions and Heroes. Okay, this doesn't make sense. Oh, I guess it does, because the two teams that come second and third have to face off each other. This is garbage. This is not good.
It's pretty rough.
I am so upset that these two teams...
4 and 5 and 3 and 6 are playing each other? 1 and 2
Yeah. So,
it's just so small.
That's the issue. It's sad. Why did you have to do this, Quarantine Gamers, and be so good? Why couldn't one of the Unsungs be here? And then we have potential for a rematch.
Pupper Pals won them, I think, twice.
Did they?
Oh, no.
1-1. And then
1-1 and 0-2. Yeah. They got 2-1 more recently, which is the more important one to take.
Oh, and look, this Heroes and Champions both 1-1 them.
1-1's Quarantine?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, I think there's a lot of good teams in Heroic too, despite there only being a few.
Well, there are. I imagine the 6 teams in Heroic are probably the top 8 teams. Like 6 out of 8 of the teams are at the best in 82L. I only say that because I don't know if a couple of Divine teams could put a run for their money or not.
I don't think so.
I'm just saying that maybe 6 of the best 7
teams.
That's all I'm saying is I don't know how good the worst in Heroic is and the best in Divine. So if you had the worst in Heroic face the best in Divine, maybe the best in Divine beats the worst in Heroic.
It's possible. Yeah. Something like that's possible.
It's like I fully believe that the best in Contender can beat the worst in Intermediate.
Oh yeah, for
You
sure.
know, as an
I
example.
think that role
Besides
generally.
that,
I mean, just look at what is it? Result oriented thinkers,
yeah, look, we're there.
right?
ROT, they're in the tiebreakers.
That is a team that won contender, and they're going to make a playoff cut. Maybe like they're in the running too, right? Like that's a
Yeah,
big
we
step.
have TTP here, 20th place, not even getting a chance for that. And last season, what was it? A group is the best? Baloney.
It wasn't baloney.
Well, I guess wasn't the finals to A group teams?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but TTP was there. So listen, let's not
But
change my point. I'm just kidding.
TTP and IBAT. I think were inflated because there were two teams that had a late start, a late bloom, if you will. One of them just couldn't figure out Eastern Standard versus Eastern Daylight Time, and that in America we call EST EDT regardless.
What's going on here?
Huh?
Why is there a week 7?
And
Why is IBAD versus AB normal and Duke and Do
they're
versus
setting it up. No, they're setting it up right now.
Yeah, but IBAD isn't the oh
IBAT had 5 wins. Yeah.
oh dude no dude the mini playoff bracket. God damn it.
Someone's got to let them know quickly.
Oh,
They're making it literally as we speak. Bad News Bears versus Tennessee Tech.
oh no.
Are they forcing a best of 3 here? What are they doing best of 1s? What's their plan? I wonder.
Yeah, you have 7 teams with 5 guys. Did they not?
I mean, here's the thing: they're gonna make an announcement telling us what the plan is,
I know,
but
and
we get to see the matchups early
live
while we're talking. Yeah, live while we're doing our FirerySide chat.
what we're
We
doing.
get to
What maybe they're
watch.
trying to do what you suggested too is just a huge round robin.
Yeah, it's possible. I mean, to do that, they'd probably have to.
Well, they got different days going on right now.
Gosh, dude.
You know, we'll come back to them. We're gonna go to Archon. We're
Well, one of
saving
those
contender
days
for
is
last.
no way it's accurate, right?
Look at
7:30.
this! Look at this beautiful playoff bracket. You have
What are we on? Heroic?
Archon.
Oh, yes.
You have 8 teams.
It's so perfect.
BO3s.
And you know what the best part is? Did you look at how the groups finished for this team for this
I know it was actually really good too.
It was so good. I only got to cast one game, and I feel bad I didn't get to cast more. One, because instigators somewhere in here have wins, and I wish I could have casted that. But 2, because these are pretty exciting teams to watch for Archon League. I was like, I don't know. I guess I had like the wrong mindset going in, being like, oh, Archon League, it's the lowest league. Guys, these games are still fun to watch. Dota is still Dota, and guess what? Everyone still enjoys Dota just as little as everyone else, but it's still fun to watch.
Yeah, you have Mary Todd Lincoln Forever Young, the sister team to Mary Todd Lincoln.
Where is Mary Todd Lincoln, and how
They're
did that
taking
team
the
start?
season off. You know what? Subwoofer was on the FirerySide chat, so you'd have to go watch that episode.
Okay. Is he the original Mary Todd Lincoln team?
I'd
captain?
say he's
Okay,
the
okay.
main. I'd say he's the main guy, really.
Perfect.
And then you got Lemon Snow Cones, who's been around forever, and the
Classic.
Mittenances, who's been around forever. I have no idea who this Estrogen Express is. Beside, I kind of like their name.
It's a good name. There's a couple names I knew in here. I know Vital. Hold on, I have to go back on Dotabuff to see their actual names.
I didn't want to spend too long on Archon, but I'll let you continue, man. I'm just saying their playoff bracket's nice.
Yeah, it's a fun. I think that's gonna be fun. I like that there's 8 teams. I like that there's a lot of competitive teams. Like all the top 4 teams have all won each other. I think. Like,
Yeah,
it's
they're
so
really
insane.
tight. Yeah, I'd say the top 4 teams are really.
I think
close.
there was 1-2-0 that Mary Todd Lincoln took instead of a 1-1 that changed everything else. But that's it. I think.
I think if you look at these games, I think they're gonna get really good when you get here.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Every semifinal match is gonna be hype.
Yeah, I think both of them, the top 4, because you can most likely guess MTL will win, LSC wins,
Yeah,
EE wins, This is
Instigators obviously go on to the finals.
oh god. Well, hey, you never know. They could pull out
I
a win.
wish,
I'm
dude.
cheering
I
for
wish.
my boy Chad. I hate to
I'm
say
always rooting
this.
for Chad.
Shout out to him for making Archon content. Probably better than what I'm doing justice right now.
Making
And
Archon
Dementis
content
is
in the middle of the like first thing in the morning before he goes to work.
yeah. And he
Do you see
always
that?
uploads it.
Like it's like he's always like, I feel like I got to get it out, and I always feel bad because it's like, man, I should do Archon content and help him out. Give him a break.
I think he enjoys it. Listen, you have
I think he
Divine
does
League.
too.
You have Divine League. Let him have Archon League. If he's
Well,
the only guy making it, all Archon players have to go there.
that's why our contender content I never streamed. I don't know if you noticed that with me, Arno and Dill. They were like, Gambit, do you want to stream? And I was like, no, I already do Divine content. And one, I don't want people getting mixed up, right? I don't want people being like, oh, Gambit. Like, I'm looking for Divine content. There's Gambit, right? Easy,
There was a lack of intermediate content. I think I was supposed to fill that. But then I kind of did FirerySide chat, and I said I'm not doing multiple content pieces in a week as much. Though I did make that quick video, and apparently people really like that. But I still need to make another playoffs video about like quickly where I show my shitty brackets. I don't know if you know this, Gambit, but I always predict the brackets since still started, and I've been so wrong. So I think I have to continue. So that'll be coming too. But no, I like this. I like this, and I'm in. Maybe I cast an Archon League BO3. Maybe not. Maybe I do intermediate this week. I kind of want to do the BO1s.
Yeah.
I'm hoping there's a bunch of BO1s. Should we go do contender? Then we'll go back to intermediate.
Yeah, we can do that real quick.
Okay, contender. You're also in this. All 14 teams make it. Your team, WSS Kobolds, obviously with a bye.
Right.
And Pot agreed with a bye. Now, I really feel there's like that top kind of 3-4 teams. I think Team Backwoods is a really good team. And there's a couple, I guess, on your side. There's a lot of good teams like FOTP and Red 5. They did really well last season. A couple seasons ago, Red 5 won, and they faced a lot of good contender teams. Like a lot of those players are in intermediate now. So even though they're really low, I think contender was pretty good. You played this season. Any comments?
Yeah, I will say after playing some of these teams, I have a better feel for like if I were to make a tier list, I feel like I could make it like almost with like 90% accuracy and like certainty on like which games would go which way. Just because I play these teams now, I will say I think the Pot of Grease side is a lot harder of a side. Mostly because I think Team Backwoods is probably the third best team, and for whatever reason they're sitting on the top side of the bracket with Pot of Greed instead of on the bottom side with us.
Yes, I think Team Backwoods is probably the third best too. So you kind of dodge a bullet, but that doesn't mean you don't have other kind of good teams
for sure
with you. Like I think Petty,
but also that top bracket has a lot more good teams too. I don't want to like undermine some of those teams up there.
No, yeah, I'm not trying to. I try to
It's not
focus
just
on the
Backwoods.
couple of top teams. Like
I haven't played Pandemonium yet. I'm really excited to play them if we make it to the semifinals with them. Because that's another team. It's like they finished pretty well in groups. Yeah. We never got to play them. I would like to play them just because I like playing the top teams. I think it's a lot more fun. Like getting to play Backwoods that last week was a lot more fun from playing like Petting Zoo the week before. No offense to Petting Zoo. It was just, I think it was a mismatch like player base wise. But yeah, it's like I haven't played All My Homies Love Crack. I have played a lot of the guys on Routers of Erhan. I don't know why they're not performing as well as I think they should be based on their players, but
you gotta
it's like
be
there's
a team.
weird things like that.
You have to.
You got to be a team.
Yeah,
and I know they were kind of thrown together last minute. I think who's playing offlane? Is it Zycor? No,
I don't even know, but I hope they suck. I hope they just lose in the first round. That's my non-biased opinion. They can move. They can get here. I think they can get here.
I hope FOTP goes past the first round, but I'll be honest, they got a pretty bad draw for that.
Well, that's what happens when you're kind of a lower team.
Weren't they? Oh no, they got 2-0 by Red 5. That's why they're down there. I was gonna say, weren't they like near the Red 5 standings? But no.
So yeah, they face Pandemonium, but you know what? I think it's going to be Pandemonium, AMHLC, or others Rotan. I
I think all the top
apologize,
seeds make it
FOTP.
through.
I apologize, FOTP. I just don't see it this season. You've been struggling. You know, Red 5 Petting Zoo is always interesting because Red 5 continuously loses against Petting Zoo.
You know who? That's unfortunate. I will say I think all the top seeds will win their first round games. Team that surprised me the most, Savage Sabers. They won Archon, right? They
I
replaced
think
like one
so.
player, and they're actually like they finished in the middle of groups. That's not bad, right? Like for it again, like it's the same situation of like result oriented thinkers, right? Where it's like you won the league, and so you move up, and you didn't finish bad. Like you
Mhm.
finished fairly decent. So, and I think Savage Sabers had like a kind of end of the year bump, like run kind of thing, where I
Yeah.
think they're playing a lot better towards the end than they were in the beginning for sure, because of the fact that they're playing with like a new mid player. So
Yeah.
I think that's a big team to watch for. I think they also have a bad bracket though, since if they beat Extra Knives, they have to play Pot of Greed.
Well, that's what happens. You move on in the playoffs. Your first round's kind of a gimme. You got to face a
Right.
good team. You know what? To win that tournament, you have to face a good team. And I think
Mm,
that's all true. If all the good
yeah,
teams kind of make it to the top four, you're facing a good team, you know, and you to win it all, you have to face a good team. That's all. So the good
yeah.
teams
I
just
mean,
don't
you
face
got
good
to beat
teams
the
right
best to
away.
be the best.
Yeah.
But the thing with Savage Sabers, I think they still need like not like some warm up games. They need like a step ladder to get to the top tier teams. I think. I don't think they like if if they be Extra Knives and they jump into
Hmm.
Pot of Greed. I don't like their odds, right? But if they had played like if they had say they beat Extra Knives and then play Spiked Esports, it's like I like their chances moving forward better than if they had
Yeah.
just played Pot of Greed. They have the announcement out.
Oh, did they?
They
Dude,
just they just
I
pinged us.
looked at intermediate league. I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan. This is live, everybody. This is live. It'll be on YouTube.
Wow.
Oh, come
That is
on.
interesting. Sorry, I didn't
Lame.
mean. Yeah, like you
BO3s.
got it on stream. Okay, good.
Oh, lame. Listen, I can't do anything about this, guys. But I'm letting everybody know that I did consider letting one team just move on and do BO3s. But I was like, we have an opportunity to do these teams right and have a fun
Okay, okay.
experience. An extra BO3?
Um,
A BO3 to
it would
get
have
in
been the same amount of
BO3s?
games with our system.
Our system wasn't another BO3 game, though.
But here's the thing. It effectively was.
No, 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 because you face different teams. It was cooler.
It's yeah, yeah,
Our way
it's different in
is
that sense,
cooler.
but it's still you
You're
still play a best of 3
this
effectively.
no, you know what this is literally? You have your you have 13 teams and you have the 12 teams below them. I mean 6 teams below them just playing BO3s. You're literally making your tournament now 19 teams. The BO1 way cool, but it's okay. They decided this. I was
I
hyped.
will
I was
say
excited.
I will say that I think they moved the right team forward. Not
Probably.
because I think not because I think Result Orient Thinkers was the best team in that group by any means, but they were supposed to play Tuesday against Tennessee Tech, correct?
And they won one. They might have
They
2 them.
agreed to 1-1. They didn't play the game, right?
No,
That was my
and they did face
understanding.
some good teams though, and then they kept losing. Dude, I don't know.
But that is my understanding is that they agreed to 1-1. I think Result Oriented Thinkers would probably have 2-0'd. I could be wrong. So that's just my thoughts.
Disgrace.
It's it's gonna be interesting.
Don't play a BO3 to get in the BO3 tournament. I got a middle finger. I got a point down. Thumbs down. There we go. I'm putting my thumbs down there. I think they BTS finally also removed the thumbs down. I mean, not thumbs down. Sorry, BTS still had Grant on Twitch. I mean,
Oh
on
yeah.
Discord, and I used it a couple times, and I'm like, guys, you should remove this, and they never did. And they finally did. You know what? We're gonna use Mr. Juke Boy too. Shake my head. I shake my fists at you guys. Disgrace.
Gosh.
There you go. We have it, guys. We have BO3s.
But we know what's happening now. There's no
Uh,
more surprises.
lame. LAME.
I was like, we can complain about it all we want. Most of the teams that are deserving for the spot will make it. Let me look at these. Let me look at these spots real quick. Who's playing who? I haven't looked at that yet.
iBad versus AB Normal. Duke and Do versus Big Earn. Bad News Bears versus Tennessee Tech Esports Club. So I think the best teams out
I
of
don't
this
know
is
any of
probably
those teams.
iBad. Well, they're kind of low tier teams, you know, so they're new teams, but I imagine iBad will win.
I think I played a pub with Insane Chaos actually.
I don't know. I
Sorry, that was
was
just random thought I had.
no, I was hyped. I was hyped for the BO1 tournament or BO1 group stage, like what you were suggesting with round robin. Just a BO3 to get in the BO3 tournament, kind of, you know, could
It
have been
feels
cool.
weird. You're only playing one team. I'd rather them play multiple teams, but I can understand the lack of appeal for a best of one too. Like certain teams will just cheese you, and if you don't have time to do research, you're going to be pretty upset. I don't know.
I really
That's
think the teams at the bottom most likely suck at cheesing, so I don't think that's the biggest concern. No offense.
um. I
The
think there's a lot of teams still in intermediate. Like all you need is one mid laner that has cheese heals.
I don't know. I'm just sad. I'm just sad, disappointed. So when people watch this video, the hype, it's coming live, they're excited. Everybody's like, "Yes, I cannot wait." You know what happens? Gambit. This. You know what? I just checked
Yeah.
my viewers. You know who's watching? Seth. He is
So listen,
he's watching on Twitch right now.
listen,
He's
Fireside,
shitting on it all.
Fireside, Fireman. Why don't you put up our bracket real quick? Show Seth what we'd worked up here. We've got some good
It's too
stuff in the
late.
80-12 making.
It
No,
is
no, it's
too
not too
late.
late. They've made the announcement, but he can understand the error of his ways, and he'll learn and adapt for next season.
Oh, right there. Seth, I hope you're paying attention right now. If you're still watching.
So, Seth, we had designed a double elimination bracket just for you guys to use to fix this seven teams, only 4 can move on dilemma, where no single team would play more than 3 games, and you would have the top 4 teams move on. It was so perfect. It was so beautiful. And then you guys had to go make this a best of 3 single team game. Just kidding, Seth. I love you. But also, I do think this would have done a lot better of a job trying to, again, determine the top 4 of a 7 team group.
It's okay. You know, I do understand
But it's okay.
Simplicity's sake.
It's easier to schedule too. Like if you have a team that can't play Thursday, you know, I can understand why they do it.
I wanted, you know, it straight up. If a team can't play on Thursday, well, they don't deserve to be in the BO1 bracket. And then you know what? You had the 6 teams move on, and then you had the 2 losers face off. Boom. Oh no, you have the 2 losers waiting for the 2 winners. Boom.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, there you go. That would have even made it easier if one team couldn't make it, but we'll survive. We'll survive.
It's fine. I think for simplicity's sake, playing one team, best of 3, being able to have that flexibility reschedule, I think is nice.
So before we go, so we don't leave on a terrible notice, you've been looking at my stream. Gambit, this is the only picture I could find of you on the internet.
This was the perfect picture, honestly.
And I want to briefly comment here. So WSS shoes are your guys' sponsors. And I was curious, I have 5 shoes up here, and I was wondering whose shoe is whose. Yeah.
Oh, let's go. Oh man. Well, let's see. Oh man, this is a lot of,
Your contender team.
Right. I understand that much. This is the WSS team, but what's that shoe in the bottom left? Is that a Nike?
They.
Can we tell quite?
Oh, I no. I feel like it could be a. Oh, it is a Nike. Yeah, it's a Nike.
Okay. So first and foremost, Dill is the Nike. You know, he's the young chap of the group.
Okay.
He's always trying to look fly. He's always trying to go fast. So he's got to wear his Nikes that obviously make him go faster. The Skechers is Darth Heisenberg. Not because he's a girl, but because he has like a newborn daughter. And so every time I see that, I always think about how he's a father now, and it's crazy.
Dude, I was hoping you were gonna diss somebody with the Skechers, and that's how you get around it.
No.
Curse.
I will diss somebody though. Red is the basic white bitch wearing the Converse with his glass of wine in hand at all times.
Who's that?
Retman, he's our offlaner.
Oh, okay. He's gotcha.
Our offlaner.
Okay.
Before we started game 1 last week versus Backwoods, he was like, "So I've already drank half a bottle of wine as a pregame," and we were like, "Rhett, what the fuck is wrong with you?" We were like, "How could you do this? We're trying to win." He goes, "Don't worry." He's like, "It won't be bad." He didn't like say anything that would have actually given us confidence. He was just like, "It'll be fine." So that's definitely Rhett. The purple is perfect for him too. I'd probably say revamps the Adidas, because revamps the New Balance, because revamps obviously the best player without looking too flashy. Just like New Balance is the best pair of shoes without looking too flashy. I don't know if you've noticed that trend of how New Balance is like kind of become a good shoe brand to people now. Like people are just like blowing up as if New Balance is a brand new shoe when they've been around for so long.
I don't see it much in Canada.
You don't see them much in Canada?
Yeah, I actually didn't even know what N stood for.
Okay, yeah. New Balance is kind of, I don't know, it's kind of weird in that sense. Like people would look at it, back when I was a kid, and they'd be like, "Oh, that person's wearing New Balance. It must means they can't afford real shoes." And now people are like, "Dude, you got a fresh pair of New Balances. That's sick." They're like the new Nikes.
So you're wearing the purple shoes?
I'm wearing the Adidas. I'm wearing the Adidas slides. They're not really slides, but
who's wearing purple?
Retman, dude, he's got the Converse on.
I thought he was wearing red.
No, he's wearing purple because he's the basic white bitch.
Oh, well, I screwed up there. I thought he was wearing red, and I was like confused. I'm like, red is probably the best one.
That's why I'm wearing it.
Oh, I see. I like it. I wonder how many people will actually stay till this ending point to know that I've been waiting to make for this little mini joke. Like, I should have put that in
for so long.
I should have put that at the start, kind of like how I did with the Nick and Nikki, and then I showed a basic white bitch, But no, I was like, I'm getting right into the,
we had
the meat and gravy
to cover. Yeah. I will say I love the picture of Gambit you chose with Channing Tatum, even though he's got the role, but still hasn't been able to shoot the movie, of course, for 8 years now or something dumb.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I saw that picture. I'm like, oh, yeah, that is him. And, obviously I already had this WSS logo up from Darth's.
It was perfect.
But I brought up the shoes, and I want to know, how much do they pay you guys?
For which part?
Don't they sponsor?
The sponsor?
You? Or do you guys just
we get a fresh pair of gaming socks in the mail once a month.
Nice.
Yeah, so to keep our reflexes quick.
Nice. Any last words, Gambit, before we close? Before we close off,
thing wrapped up. We've been here too long.
Oh, only an hour and 14 minutes. So there's been longer. Nothing. You don't want no show to sponsors.
Listen,
nothing to your teammates.
I don't want to be
mom.
known as the guy that dragged on the end of the episode.
Okay, fair enough. I'll just get right to it at the end. If guys, FirerySide chat, very important. Couple things. One, nobody's commented on the last video. If you comment on my YouTube video, I will read that comment or question, assuming it's nothing terrible, on the next FirerySide. Okay. Also, go check out the other episodes. Thank Gambit for coming on. And if you're interested in coming on a future episode, send me a DM, Fireman. That's all I got. Thank you, Gambit.
Yep. Later.
Later, all.